City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles as it presents a Los Angeles Wildfire Benefit Concert on Sunday, February 2nd, 4 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church, 500 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. Join us for a powerful evening of music, unity, and support as talented performers from our community come together to raise funds for those affected by the wildfires. The concert is free, and all proceeds raised will benefit those who have sustained unimaginable losses. It's the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles in concert, Sunday, February 2nd, 4 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church in Pasadena, located at 500 East Colorado Boulevard. All contributions should be made payable to the California Community Foundation Wildfire Community Fund. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome in KBLA Talk 1580. You know we're probably going to hear that. It's the Super Bowl in February. It's Jill Munroe here to give you your entertainment news update. And breaking news from earlier today, Kendrick Lamar announced he will be having SZA join him as a special guest for his Super Bowl performance that we'll be seeing here in a few weeks. Not that we didn't expect that. And I kind of predicted that last night on the show. I mentioned it, so give it up for me as well, because I'm locking in, people, and you're getting it here first. Thanks for checking us out on this Thursday night. We have a lot to get into, headlines, hot topics, and all of that good stuff. You know, coming up, we know that Diddy has a trial coming up here in May where he is accused of several things, but Diddy is striking back. And he's filed a lawsuit against someone that is, I guess, a potential witness, but who made the rounds on various talk shows discussing some information. And Diddy is clapping back with a $50 million lawsuit against said individual. So we're going to get into the details of that. And we're going to talk about Miss Oprah. We know she's been transparent that she is on the other Ozempic. And, you know, it's working for her. She's dropped 50 pounds. She said she's feeling light and beautiful and all of the things. But she talks about some misconceptions that she had about thin people that she has learned through this process. So we're going to get into that as well. But before we get into all of that, you know, I have to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And there are more live performances that you're going to want to try and catch if you're out in these streets and you appreciate a good musical act or something like that, depending upon who we're discussing. So coming in February is a hot month for performances. Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys are going to be doing 3 special performances, one in Tampa, Florida, one in Charlotte, North Carolina, and another in St. Louis, Missouri, February 21st, 23rd, and 28th. You know, and guess what, people? It's being put on by Live Nation, which is in close proximity to what goes on with the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, everybody's friends here. Wayne seems to have gotten over it. He's going to perform someplace. At any rate, you know, go check out Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys. We don't know how much longer we'll be able to see that. BG is free. Everything. You can see all of the good things on stage, hear all of the old cuts, and maybe see the reason why some people felt that Wayne should be in the Super Bowl leading things up. I still I still don't think that a wrong decision was made. I still have not seen a recent performance that Wayne has done that convinces me that he would have been able to put on a spectacle as such. But a conversation for another day. In addition to that, get your Netflix ready with those prices going up. Court of Gold debuts February 18th. It is the reality series. I shouldn't say reality series, excuse me, docu-series, that's a better term, that followed around Team USA basketball in their quest for 2024 gold in the Paris Olympics. So you'll get up close and personal with all of your faves. That is dropping. And last but not least, before we get to this Diddy conversation, the Academy Award nominations dropped this morning, and there's a musical called Emilia Perez, and it's about a drug kingpin who undergoes gender-affirming surgery. And it topped the Oscar nominations with 13 nominations, including Zoe Saldana, I believe. Isn't it the lead? I believe she is. So she's nominated. She's singing in it and performing and doing all of the things. Wicked also got nominated. Cynthia Erivo is nominated along with Ariana Grande. So, get ready for the Oscars. We're about 6 weeks out from that, so we'll see what's coming up with that. Now, listen, coming up, we're going to get into the details of this accusation Diddy has and why I think that we're going to see a turn where not so many celebrities are going to stay quiet and accept that they have to take the perception that is being put out there, allegedly, by the blogs, websites, and media. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Now that Donald J. Trump has begun a second term as president, please join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 to examine the question, where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? At the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. This Saturday, January 25th, some of LA's top elected officials, Representative Sidney Comlager Dove, Assembly members Isaac Bryan and Sade El-Hawari will be on hand for what promises to be a lively and informative conversation. Doors open at 8 a.m. The general session, moderated by Tavis Smiley and broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580, begins at 9 a.m. The event is free, but seating is limited. Registration is required. Go to the Empowerment Congress website at www.empowermentcongress.org to register. Where do we go from here? Chaos or democracy? Join the Empowerment Congress and KBLA Talk 1580 this Saturday, January 25th. Doors open at 8 a.m. The free program starts at 9 a.m. Registration is required at www.empowermentcongress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, Your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, welcome back in. So we're going to get into this Diddy $50 million lawsuit that is going around. So first, over the past few months, we've seen Jay-Z sue lawyer Tony Busby, first anonymously, then refiled the claims openly. We also saw him send a threatening, letter to Piers Morgan following an appearance by Jaguar Wright. We have seen Chris Brown suing Warner Discovery over the docuseries Chris Brown, A History of Violence. We've seen Drake sue UMG for Kendrick Lamar's song, Not Like Us. And now we have Diddy, who we know is on trial for some pretty horrific things. However, in the midst of this, right, there have been several lawyers, alleged witnesses that went on the media tour, capitalizing on the attention or inserting their knowledge of the situation, no matter whichever way you want to look at it. So in this, there was a former music manager. His name is Courtney Burgess, and his lawyer, Ariel Mitchell. And they went a couple of places. And if you saw them, they claimed, they both claimed that Burgess was in possession of a video hard drive or some videos where Diddy was allegedly assaulting both celebrities and minors. He said this was in his possession. He had it. I can't recall how he said he got in possession of these things, but he also claimed that he received Kim Porter's memoir from her. Even though Kimora Lee Simmons, Kim's children, and several others have said that Kim was not writing a memoir. There have been rumors circulating online since Kim's death that she was planning to write a memoir and expose Diddy in some form or fashion. But all of her family thus far have said those rumors are false. They are not true. And Courtney did not mention how he happened to get all of these items in his possession. Well, Diddy has said enough is enough, from behind bars, of course. And so it should be noted that Courtney was called in as a grand jury witness. So I'm not sure if any or a portion of what he's saying is factual, but the feds were aware of him and he was called in. And obviously we don't know what has come of whatever information he shared with them. But he's suing them for spreading what he says are outlandish claims, baseless speculation to feed the public's desire for wild lies as it comes regarding one Sean Combs. He said that Burgess alleging that he has the tapes, there is no such tape that exists. And he says that Burgess and Mitchell are simply telling blatant falsehoods or making recklessly false statements. He also fired back at the claim that he received Kim's memoir, which I mentioned. He said that those closest to her, including her children, her roommate, and others that have known Kim for more than 20 years, have never heard of this individual knowing Kim Porter. So if you recall, a cease and desist letter was sent to, there was a book that was put out on Amazon and sold quite a bit. And it was written under a fake pen name that Tupac used to use, Jamal something or other. It was discovered that it was a white man that wrote this with no affiliation to Kim and says he was given it from somebody else, and they sent a cease and desist to him as well. And so now Diddy is suing Burgess, Mitchell, and a company called NewsNation, which aired the interview with him, for defamation. And he's asking for, at minimum, $50 million. So the lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, says that Diddy is just putting into play another pathetic ploy to silence victims and people who stand up for victims. She said that Diddy has time to sue but refuses to accept service for lawsuits already filed against him. I look forward to countersuing and ensuring the court punishes not only Diddy, but also his lawyers who filed this pathetic lawsuit for this frivolous and meritless filing. I don't know, though. I don't know. I mean, things are getting tricky, and really, Diddy aside, livelihoods are being switched and impacted. And we know, as far as the social media era, standards have gotten a little lax in what people consider news and research, right? So things slide and fly a lot more easily than perhaps they have in the past. Shout out to Fahima in the chat. She says, oh, this is about Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne would have been a spectacle. People from NOLA says K-Dot was the right choice. I think it's people that are going to have opinions both ways, but we'll see what happens. But as far as Diddy goes, I don't think that this is something that we're not going to see. We have the suit going on right now against Blake Lively. Well, they're countersuing each other, and Jake, who both starred in It Ends With Us, about some things that happened as far as what happened on set and what happened later. And there were accusations of hiring PR firms to push bad press out, regenerate old stories in order to make one of the sides look worse than the other. It's not as if we haven't known that media plants situations. People call the paparazzi and TMZ on themselves all the time, all of the time. I know you can't think that some of those times people are really interested in some of those individuals and following them. There are definitely places that you can go in LA, especially, right, where there aren't going to be paparazzi. They're just hanging out waiting to see you. Some of those spots you are going because you might want a little bit of attention that day. Not all, just some. So I think that this is something that we will see more and more frequently. On the other side of the track, Diddy also scored a legal win in one of the suits that was filed against him by a Michigan prisoner named Derek Lee. And if you recall this case, Diddy actually originally lost this case by default because no one from his team showed up. And the reason why they showed up is, I guess, they weren't technically served. It's one of those gray area things. But now this $400 million lawsuit that was filed that Diddy lost on default has now been thrown out because Derek's alleged claims centered on an incident that supposedly happened in 1997, and it was barred from the statute of limitations in Michigan. The case was dismissed with prejudice, so Derek can't refile it or pursue the same allegations again. But the court declined Diddy's request for sanctions to block Derek from filing future lawsuits against him. Instead, they left Derek with a warning against frivolous or harassing filings, which says that the court kind of felt like maybe the case was a little BS and he was out there kicking up dust. So he accused Diddy basically of assaulting him at a party at a Holiday Inn in 1997. And he claims that the mogul spiked his drink and that he fell asleep and he woke up to find Diddy engaging in relations with a woman nearby, and then turned to him and said, "I did this to you too." So, again, like with many, no physical evidence, probably no corroborating evidence, but, the time is the time is the time. It's interesting with all of these things happening. We know the Fed's rate of conviction is extremely high, but does it feel like in some instances maybe they moved a little too fast with the charges that they've levied at Diddy? Obviously, we don't know. We don't know what they have found in discovery, but just kind of seems interesting the way that it's playing out. One would think that some of these things, and again, we know it's gamesmanship and it's early, but one would think that, the feds would be rolling on a little more credible sources. Seems like Cassie is really, really the primary witness. We know she's victim number one in the case. And we know that much of what we read seemed to stem from what she said and the other individual, Little Rod. Now, we haven't heard anything from Little Rod as of late. He smartly took cover and is handling business, I assume, behind closed doors, readying whatever is going to happen with that. But clout chasing seems to be at an all-time high. And the thing to me that is most concerning about a great deal of this is that if you do believe that there is validity to the claims that have been made against Diddy, then things like this only serve to cloud the mix even further. They only serve to cast doubt upon other situations just because it's so convoluted and it sounds like people are just trying to get on the boat. I mean, because this is one case, we don't know what is happening with the case where Jay-Z is also named as a defendant, but in all likelihood, at least for Jay-Z's portion, he's going to be dismissed from the case, or that case will be dismissed altogether. So granted, they are not connected, but they are related. So you just wonder, May 5th is coming up rather quickly. What is going to look like for the feds out there? And is this more a case of the feds getting caught up in social media excitement? And though there is something there, we obviously saw the tape with Cassie. So we know that there are situations that happen between them. However, under the scope of what he has been charged with, RICO, sex trafficking, etc., are those charges seemingly looking like they're going to stick? Because the situation with Cassie, as far as, domestic violence and those things, kind of separate. I mean, they fit, but I don't know. It just seems like, I know they're the feds again, but it just seems like a rush to judgment on some issues, not to judgment, but just, Andy's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm just saying, why are these things all keep continuing to fall apart? Why are these things continuing to sort of not hold their weight as far as some of the situations as explained, some of the more heinous things and shocking things? I mean, we know that there's always going to be conjecture and rumor mongering and that type of stuff. But, it seemed that the feds were indicating that they were looking for more collaborative witnesses for this. They said it. No, go ahead, Andy.
No, that was my question. I was just like, are there any witnesses, any star witnesses, that that they can interrogate or ask?
I mean, there was a grand jury. I'm sure that there are. And again, the Southern District Court of New York, as I mentioned previously, we're not going to get cameras in the courtroom. They're not one of those courtrooms that's open. There are a few reporters that are assigned to that circuit's rotation. So it's not like, reporter 2G in LA can say, oh, I'm going to go fly out for the case. There's a process to it, and priority comes with those already in the area, in the district, and there's already people that are in rotation for that case. This is the courtroom where you see those crazy sketches and drawings. So it'll just be interesting because, Diddy wanted a speedy trial. He was arrested last September. May 5th, I believe, is the date that opening statements begin. So we're not that far away. It's moving rather quickly. And it just seems as if now is the time where celebrities overall are kind of taking a stance. It reminds me of back in the 80s or was it the 80s or the 90s when all the celebrities started suing the National Enquirer and a couple of them won? Don't know. It's a change in era, and we have a lot of questionable things happening in D.C., so, maybe the tides are shifting.
If last year was the year of exposure, this year seems to be the year of the lawsuit.
Maybe. Let's
add on the Wendy Williams situation as well, too.
Right.
So, it's crazy.
I mean, it is, and the thing is this, like, in theory, both Busby and the lawyer are saying that, nope, they're just trying to silence the little guy. And generally, I believe that. However, I don't know. It just seems like these lawyers involved in these cases don't seem to be going about it in a way that seems like they're angling for a real, our day in court or a real resolution. It seems more for promotion and publicity. And, maybe if we can force you into a settlement because you're tired of being embarrassed and hearing about it, we'd like that too. But again, everyone has a story. You never know. It very well could be that. But I just feel like if you don't have corroborators at this time and you're still working the process, doesn't it behoove you to stay silent until you are further along so that they can't come into the mix in this sort of way and jam you up? I don't know. We'll have to see. Look, when we come forward, we're going to get into Oprah's comments on what she learned about thin people, plus more trending topics and headlines on the other side. You were locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News, traffic, and sports is up next.
Get away from me. If you do, I won't move. I ain't just cry for no reason. I ain't just pray for no reason.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. The Trump Department of Justice is halting police reform agreements and barred new civil rights cases, citing a need for review by the next administration. This affects deals like Minneapolis Police Department's consent decree after George Floyd's murder, reflecting Trump's stance against such reforms. Authorities say the Nashville, Tennessee school shooter, a black 17-year-old who killed a student before taking his own life, left writings on social media showing school layouts, gun photos, and neo-Nazi propaganda with anti-Semitic views. Wall Street is closing with stocks higher as the S&P 500 finished at a record high. It comes after President Trump called for cheaper oil prices and lower interest rates when speaking virtually at the World Economic Forum. And Black New York Attorney General Letitia James is announcing Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family will pay $7.4 billion to settle opioid lawsuits. Funds will support addiction treatment and prevention. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
In Long Beach, there's a disabled vehicle taking up the right lane on the 405 southbound before Bellflower. Hawthorne, there's an accident off to the right shoulder on the 405 southbound after Rosecrans. Inglewood, there's an accident too. It's off to the right shoulder on the 405 southbound at Century. Behind all of these accidents, it's very slow. And Boyle Heights, a crash in the left lane on the 5 southbound before Grande Vista.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Is this the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers might have done the Lakers a favor last night by pushing the Boston Celtics to overtime at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. The Celtics have to play the Lakers tonight after their tough 4-point win over the Clippers. It'll be interesting to see how much energy the defending NBA champs have for their longtime rivals. 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Mississippi Valley State is the latest HBCU school to hire a former NFL player as their head football coach. Terrell Buckley, a former defensive back with the New England Patriots, was introduced today by the Mississippi Valley administration. Buckley, who played 14 seasons in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots in 2002. Other former NFL players serving as a head coach at an HBCU: Hall of Fame running back Eddie George at Tennessee State, quarterback Michael Vick at Norfolk State, and wide receiver Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. When the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Shout out to Lionel Richie and the Commodores, man. Everybody knows. Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here here on KBLA Talk 1580. Brookhouse's Stand Up. They don't use that term anymore. I mean, and it's more appropriate now than it probably was in the 70s. Although, the BBL era is coming to an end. Natural bodies are coming back, or at least Ozempic and Wegovy bodies. Thin is coming back in.
Shout out to Kendrick.
Why are we shouting out Kendrick?
I think he's a part of that movement too. Like the whole natural aspect of things. Like,
you think so?
100%.
Explain to me why.
His brand.
Okay.
Just listening to his music. If I'm not mistaken.
Organic, authentic.
I want to say humble.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He said something about, I want to see something with some stretch marks. And, that's his whole thing. The Squabble Up video. You know what I'm saying? He had the big girls getting it. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Kendrick. I just think when we talk, especially with him and the whole culture, right? And like you said, the whole BBL stuff, we're going back to the essence, to the natural, to, community building and this, that, and the third. So that's what I wanted to say. Shout out to Kendrick. I know it's probably like off the wall, but I
see the connection. I see the dots,
He's like a leader in that movement in
you
today's
said, I'm
time.
Fasting. I'm attractive.
Come on.
Look, well, you might be on to something there. Really quickly, because that does connect to what I'm going to talk about with Oprah. Fahima in the chat sent me a link, and this is what I'm talking about with this Diddy thing and opportunists. So on eBay, right? And Jamal T. Millwood, that is what Tupac's alias was, and that's what this individual used to write this book, Kim's Lost Words. We have no way of knowing if this is valid. They didn't take a picture of the manuscript in her handwriting, not a page, not a signature, not a date item, nothing, but everybody's lapping this up. They didn't take a photo of the hard drive, the screen, nothing. But everyone believes that this is true. And right now, there's several copies of it available for you to purchase on eBay. But somebody is actually charging 25,000 American dollars. Why would you pay $25,000 for that? An unverified document. You have no way of knowing if any aspect of this is true. Other prices, $2,400, $300, $99, $150, $850. It's a play out there. Somebody's playing. Somebody is making some dough. Forrest Harrison, 36, 24, 72. You talking? Those are the BBL stats? Because that's not a brick house. That's something else. A community, maybe? I don't know. That is definitely some BBL stats. Listen, Miss Oprah has dealt with weight issues, talking about her weight and all things related to it, dieting and so forth, since we've known her, since the 80s, right, Andy?
At one point, has she ever talked about exercising?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Now, look, I can't pull out the interview off top.
Okay.
And attest to that. But I believe she has talked about, exercise in some form. She walks. I believe she talked about walking and hiking. Let's see. Oprah Winfrey workout. Get Fit Her workout routine. Yep. 4 or 5 times a week, 30 to 40 minutes of strength training. Usually 2 days in a row, followed by a day off. So, she walks. She hikes. She does natural things.
I'm sorry, that's not rigorous enough, but go ahead.
But here's the thing. But you got to think, Oprah's out there in her palatial, grounds out in Santa Barbara, walking and farming her vegetables and walking her dogs.
You got to perspire. You can walk all you want, and that's a great thing. You know what I mean? But continue the story.
She exercises. Walking is the best form of exercise.
It's
And here's the thing.
It's the easiest form of exercise.
And distance can make up a great deal. You're not buying it?
I'm not like, I don't want to push back on walking. I think walking is good. Walking is necessary. Go walk. But at the same time, if you're talking about losing some weight, you're going to have to sweat. So you're going to have to, I mean, if you're going to walk, power walk. Have the little trash bag, little bag thingy. You know what I mean?
Get your sweat going.
Yeah, get your sweat going on. And I'm not hearing that from Oprah.
Well, we don't know. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that Oprah sweated a couple of times, that she worked it out, right? But in this recent interview, it was a podcast interview, and so she talked about her, we know Oprah has tried every weight drug that there is, right? And she said that in getting on Ozempic, which she's lost 50 pounds, that she admits that her views on thinness and willpower have shifted. She said that obviously she's had a lot of public shame and scrutiny related to her weight over the years, but that she recognized for the first time that she thought thin people had more willpower than they actually do. She says she thought that they ate better foods, that they were able to stick to it longer, that they never had a potato chip. And she said then she realized when she first started taking the weight loss drug that they're not even thinking about food. She said they're eating when they're hungry and they're stopping when they're full. And that's it. And she said that her mindset shifted because she didn't realize that food wasn't something that was a constant sort of thought or idea in the average person's head like it was with her, whether that's coping or not. And she also talked about how the media also had an impact on how she was feeling and her thoughts around it. She said every week she was exploited by the tabloids. Anytime a comedian wanted to make fun of her or make a joke about it, they would make a joke about it. And she said no one thought of her feelings. She said that she accepted it, though, because she thought she deserved it. And that she said that she finally came to a point where she realized that she was beautiful, excuse me, no matter her size. So, Andy, you looking like, no, you don't want to say too much.
It sounds like Oprah, and I know other individuals, so I want to be sensitive, had toxic views on food, on weight. But I'm glad that she's realized that.
She most definitely did. She said initially, it was a knee surgery that kind of drove her back into this weight loss cycle. And she said at first she wanted to do it natural because she said that would be the only way she felt she earned it, and that it was cheating if she took the drug.
Exactly.
But then she said she had to change her mindset on that. And now she feels better than she's ever felt. I feel like if you need some help, go get the help. If something you don't like, fix it. Know the side effects. Have the money to be able to, back up anything should it come up. But handle that. And she looks so happy. She looks like she feels like I'm finally a baddie. And every woman should feel that way.
That's all that matters.
Hopefully
Ozempic is cutting her a check.
I mean, Weight Watchers was, and she gave it back. So, Oprah don't need the check. Lucas Frank says, Kendrick completely abandoned the black female empowerment angle in his Drake diss because no one appreciated him telling women what to do based on his hotepism. I think a lot of women felt that he was defending like Serena Williams and some of the others. I don't know about that. Forrest Harrison says, my wife and I walk 20,000 steps a day, 10 miles, and yes, we sweat. Something got in my throat. Excuse me. Andy's not buying it. You're not buying the 20,000 steps that they sweat with regular. Forrest Harrison said he and his wife do that, and it maintains good weight loss.
I mean, if they're walking rigorously, if there's a power walk somehow, I'm not knocking the walk. The walk is good. I just think that, coupled with the walk, that, you should try to encourage yourself to, like really sweat outside of just walking. I mean, hell, go swim, you know what I mean? Or jog at the same time, and lift some weights, dumbbells, squats. You got to overextend yourself if you're trying to lose weight. I've just been hearing this about Oprah like my whole life.
Right.
So I'm just over here like, damn, now you want to resort to
don't
drugs.
We also often hear, I mean, this isn't the first time she's probably dropped a weight loss situation.
Yeah.
There was Fin back in the 90s, Dexatrim, all of those. Oprah says she's tried it all when it comes to weight loss. So I'm sure this isn't the first time that she's tried that. But this is, this works like no other. They say that there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are taking this too.
Exactly. And Hollywood.
But regular people are too.
I mean, I'm not knocking regular people. I get it.
Here's the thing, so much so, and we talked about this a few months back, that companies that make snacks are now making like Ozempic type snacks, snacks that are richer in protein. Smaller snack sizes. We went from small snack sizes to uber big. So now they're reversing that. Snacks that go along with the Ozempic lifestyle that is now developing. And if you look, everybody all of a sudden is rail thin like it's back in the day. Christina Aguilera, rumored.
Consider fasting as well, too. I'm just letting y'all know.
I mean, diet is the key to a lot of this, right? The way that you eat. But, expensive and all of that. When we come forward, we got a phone call. No, when we come forward, we're going to have a phone call, maybe not. I don't know. The green line is lit up. I'm all over the place. So when we come forward, I'm going to get myself together while we're doing that. And we'll get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't like stress.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page. Or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back, and we are talking Thin is in, and Oprah discovering that people don't walk around all day thinking about food. It's interesting when you talk to some people how some people recognize like that they don't have an inner dialogue. I have a friend who talks about how she does not daydream. She's never had daydreams or, had those type of thoughts. Another friend I know doesn't have like that inner voice. Like when people say they're talking to themselves, the voice in your head, so to speak, not the ones that aren't really there, but I guess your conscience. She says she doesn't have that. That's not how her mind processes things. So it is interesting sometimes when you get into how people think and the psychology of things and how it may impact, obviously it impacts how that they act, but really on a, pure base level. Andy?
Your friend doesn't have a conscience?
Yes, but she's saying like, how you think in your mind, do I want chicken for dinner or steak?
Okay.
She said she doesn't have that voice like that has that thing. It's just, I don't understand it because obviously I can't imagine how you process thoughts and things without the inner dialogue. But
exactly.
Look, that's what she said.
She's not an indecisive person?
Delayed.
Okay.
I would say. So, she has a hard time sort of, I wouldn't say making up her mind, but getting to that point might be a process. So, shout out to Aida Faro in the chat. DJ Black 909 says, I'm seeing people saying, why couldn't they replace SZA with Lil Wayne? What? Also, why do we keep acting like he can't have unannounced guest performers? Of course he has. Of course he can. He probably will. But SZA is a major star. You have to think her last album knocked Taylor Swift off of the charts and was on the top of the charts for, what was it, like 3, 4 months, 3, 4, 5 months. She had a sold out tour on her own. So it is kind of like the year when, who was it that performed and had Bruno Mars and Beyonce join them? Why am I blanking on the name? I like the group too. I'm totally blanking on the name of the group. It'll come to me later. But so I think sometimes they do announce special guest performances, but that doesn't mean that there aren't also going to be more special guest performances. If by chance, I know that Wayne said that he and Kendrick had talked and had been in communication. If Wayne pops up on that stage, if I was Drake, that's when I would really feel away. Because to me, I could see Wayne ending up on that stage. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if it did, I wouldn't be like, I never saw that coming. I'm just saying.
That'd be so disrespectful of
It
Wayne.
would be. But he could say I was doing it for my city.
It would be great for hip hop though.
Man.
I really held on the belief that,
like when 50 Cent brought Jim Jones on stage when he and Cameron were beefing.
Yeah, that was crucial right there. But I was really holding on the hope that Kendrick would surprise and shock the world and bring Drake out. You know what I'm saying?
That I do not see happening.
You know what I'm saying? But like, especially after now this extra lawsuit, now I'm just like, yeah, this is a little bit ugly. But I just felt like, for the culture, it
would have been good for them to clasp hands,
for
like
unity.
Red and Blue. We're all in the same game.
I'm just saying, you did it here locally in LA. You know what I'm saying, with the pop out. So why not just do it for the game of hip hop, for the culture? Like
because it's personal.
They do a song together and it's like the hottest song in the world, and it's just
Here's the thing. Maybe.
I highly doubt it.
I mean, we saw Jeezy and Gucci share a stage.
My point exactly.
But look how many years later. Time can heal everything. But I don't think we're not even a year since Like That dropped. It hasn't even been one calendar year. So, you know, I that would be nice, but whose dream is that? Because it's not going to happen. Forrest Harrison in the chat says, in a few years, there will be 50,000 legal commercials about how Ozempic gave them explosive body situations and a horn in the middle of their forehead. Maybe. I mean, you know it does cause stomach paralysis. So we'll have to see what else is going on with that. Fahima also says, which one is rich? They can focus on and do even better things besides eating. I mean, listen, food can be a comforter. We've heard all of the things from all of the people, you know. She's thin and happy now, and it's a trend. So jump on it if you're into that. Listen, thanks for locking in here. Tomorrow, coming up, we have interviews with Megan Good and Jerry Johnson. Harlem launched on Prime tonight. So make sure you check that out. And tomorrow, check out the interviews with some of the cast. And, you know, enjoy your Thursday. Stay locked in, stay warm, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m.
She's mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a bread house. I don't like ladies that, that's a fact. Ain't holding nothing back. Oh, she's a break house. Yeah, she's the one, the only one, built like an Amazon. The clothes she wear, her sexy ways.